Welcome back to the Maker Show. My name is Jeff Krepke, and what we got for you today is the building of the extruder for the Bouncy 3D printer that we've been putting together. And it's not too hard to get the bearings on and to the piece. But this whole printer build is about orientations. So I'll try to go over it. I had to take the printer apart a couple different times to get all the orientations and things on the right side. And I will go ahead and show you the pages in the manual, like I did on the first video, to show you what the manual is showing, as well as what I'm doing on the screen. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. This is the extruder build for the Bob's 3D printer. On the bottom of page 4 we have building the printer. It's recommended for a large working surface for assembling the printer. I used my kitchen table. It was a nice big surface and it didn't take too long to build, so it went pretty quick. The plywood may require a minor sanding. I cleaned it up a little bit with a paring knife. That was no big deal. And I decided not to paint the printer just because I like the natural color and stuff. So the extruder assembly, the parts for the extruder assembly include the extruder mount, the extruder top mount, the extruder lock, 4 M3 by 20 machine screws and 4 nuts to go with those, 2 of the LM8UU bearings, and 4 large nylon ties and 1 extruder. Next, we're going to actually go back some of the video of me assembling the extruder. That was the first step I did, and we'll go ahead and see how I did, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. The parts for the extruder is the extruder mount. That's this part. The mount top, which is this part. And C is right here. And we're going to need the extruder. It's really a nice one. I like this. All milled, aluminum milled. That's pretty high quality. And then we're going to need 2 bearings. They're right here. And for the 3 by 20 screws. M320. Okay. Bag. Open that up. And get 4 of them out. I get 4 nuts. Then 2 is bearings, 4 of the large zip ties, and the 1 extruder. Okay. Okay, so step 1 is to place the bearing onto the rectangular slot of the extruder mount, like so. And then we're going to put a zip tie through. We're going to come up the back. Up the back. Over the bearing. We won't tighten that so we can adjust it. Oh, I already made a mistake. Okay. I'm sure they give you extra zip ties. Okay, so what I did wrong is I went for that hole and not for that one. So we'll try it one more time here. So it goes up, there, and over. Look at this picture right here. I'm on page 5 of the manual. It's available online for download. I just printed mine out, so I didn't have to have it on the computer screen, but there's no reason you have to print it out. Okay, so they want the end of the zip tie right against the backing. So now we're going to do another one, same way. So it's on there and it looks correct to the picture. So I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on. The other one that looks like the same way. The zip ties are at they end up at the side. So okay, so apparently there's bigger holes on this side. Okay, so there's probably a left and a right. One more, we have this step complete. I put it in back sideways there, so I need to twist it, get it flat. I want as much clearance as possible, always. I'll just tighten those up by hand. I got a lot of tape grab there. Okay, I'm going to cut them flush with my diagonal cutters. Okay. So we wrap the two bearings with the large, with the opposite bearing of the slotted holes of the extruder mount. Next we're going to pull the bearing re-snug. We did that. Cut off the excess tie. For good look, string clearance, insert the nylon straps first in the inbound holes. Okay. So next page, we're on page 6 now. Okay, so we're going to feed the extruder wires. That's time you have your side cutters huge. Okay, it looks like one set of wires is finished. One will be the thermistor, and the other will be the actual element that heats the extruder. So then we're going to take that, go up through the hole on the side, the larger side. That's why those holes are larger. Feed it down. Insert this part of the extruder up through all the way. And feed the wires through. Actually, that's perfect. See how that rubber matting is right on the, it's kind of a stress relief for it. It's a good design, I think. Okay. Pull the wire through, recoil them. Okay, so install the extruder lock as shown. The extruder lock should have a tight fit sliding into the aluminum. It may need to be sanded thinner for easy sanding fit. Okay, so that's one of these pieces. Okay. And we're going to go on the other side, that's not the wire side. Okay, so I'm pushing it in, and that's going to hold that extruder right in place. Okay, I have those, that channel might need to be down. Okay, it doesn't mention whether it wants those. Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, first, another mistake is for the clearance on the zip tie. See how now it comes down nice and flush? That's what that was for. Okay, this hole's a little bit plugged up. I'm just going to pop that out. And we're going to align those holes. And just a hair more. So then we put the very top piece on. Okay, and the two holes go away from the wires. Okay, that sits down really snugly. So we installed the extruder top nut. Okay, now we're going to insert the holes. So the screws come up through all the wood and the nuts on the wood side. Hopefully we align that pretty well. This is the way I'm going to do it. I might have to take it apart again. Hopefully not. Watch out for that wire that you don't get that caught into the head of the screw. I'm just going to put those nuts right on the back. I like how that makes a pocket. Be able to put some heat shrink or something on that. That'll look really good. Get a really clean look. Okay, so that's the sub-assembly right there. That's complete. Little did I know it was not complete. There's a couple things that this printer does that is different than other printers, is it uses a string drive. Well, basically he inserts a zip tie into the extruder and then runs the zip ties that have the strings attached to them in them to hold them. So the gouges or the troughs in the parts, it's very important to get those in the proper place. I'm going to try to get a better picture of the how those troughs go better here soon. Let me go ahead and put in the page from the manual, and you guys can take a look at what it looks like. So in this part of the manual, it shows the orientation and where to put the zip ties in order to get them correctly. It says place the zip ties in the rectangular slots of the extruder mount. It shows that in a picture right above. Wrap the two bearings by inserting the large nylon zip ties through the opposite side of the bearing. You're going to just have to really look at these pictures carefully, and they do reverse, or they don't reverse these. They want you to be sure that both of the end part, where right where you cut it, is on the top side of the of that plate there. So it leaves room for other things. And it says here, big letters, stop and look for a clean string clearance. Insert the nylon straps first in the inboard holes. So we'll try to get into that a little bit and show that on camera how that's how that goes. Okay, so this part of the manual is showing how to start the routing of the wires, which is a big thing with this printer, how to route the wires so they look pretty. I'll end up showing you mine. It kind of shows that that gap in the where you put the zip ties, but even there it's not a very good picture. So the steps in this one is insert the 4 extruder wires through the extruder mount from the same side as the bearings. So you want the extruder on the bottom with the bearings. Then you're going to kind of make a stack out of those other 2 blocks. Be sure to get the orientation correctly on those. Like I say, it's going to really matter. I ended up taking mine off and changing it around, so be sure you got it right. So, and then you put the extruder lock on, it just slides in and that locks everything up. And then install the intruder top mount, which is just a piece of wood, and then you're going to screw it together. So it's getting pretty easy here. As long as you get that orientation correct, you'll be good to go. So this part, you're just going to go ahead and insert those 4 screws and install the 4 nuts and tighten them. And it says here, stop, make, to check to ensure that the thermistor is inserted in the small hole in the aluminum block. Mine did fall out once, so go ahead and just be sure that's in there when you have all those wires laying down. So I think you'll be fine with that. Okay, well, we got to the end of that, so I just saw that the last picture of the extruder, the one with the pliers in it, it shows those cutouts for the zip ties going through. It's a really good side view. So if your extruder doesn't look like that, you did something wrong. You have to rework that a little bit to make it right. Other than that, this is Jeff with the Maker Show, and it's been really great sharing this with you. Thank you.